Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Small Business Talk podcast. My name is Cree Edholm. I have Lelia Friedlander with me today. And what is so much fun about this podcast is that I get an opportunity to speak with small-sized business owners. And you're probably one of the larger-sized businesses that I've had a chance to talk to so far.
Wow.
But this is a chance for us to pull back the curtain and talk about every business owner's story and journey and what they do. And Lil, I could not be more happy to have you on the show. Welcome.
It's such a pleasure, Cree. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right. You have owned a couple of businesses and you have owned businesses with your family, with your husband and your kids. Your children are growing into the business. And I know that you had a business before TuffSkin.
I had a business before TuffSkin, before that business, before Las Vegas window tinting, before that. So I've been an entrepreneur for a really long time.
Yeah, would you have it any other way?
No.
Right? I think once you start, it's like, yeah, I'm okay working for myself.
Yeah. I had one job that I really loved working with a woman. And it was because she allowed a lot of, well, first of all, she was very much into education and had that kind of whole feeling around her business. Her name is Linda Ann Kahn. Shout out to Linda Ann and Beauty Clinique in San Diego and University City in San Diego County. I worked with her for about 2.5 years as an esthetician, and I learned so many cool things. And I loved working for her. It was the best employee situation that I ever had.
Yeah, having people who are leaders that you get to grow into and look up to it is so important.
Exactly, it is. She was a pillar and still is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think I remember you speaking about her.
Oh, yeah?
Recently, the last time we had tacos.
All kinds of information comes out when we eat tacos.
That's right. If you don't have tacos with your friends, I highly recommend it and it doesn't have to be on a Tuesday. It could be on any day.
Exactly. You learn so much.
You really do. Yes. Connection is important. All right. So you've owned multiple businesses. TuffSkin is the latest one and the current one. Mm-hmm. And if you'll walk us through the transition as you parted ways with the tint company that you had before, mm-hmm. and your decision to move into TuffSkin and what that journey was like.
So Frank and I lived in San Diego and moved to Las Vegas in 1991 to open Las Vegas Window Tinting. And we owned that company for 24 years. We raised our children while we were business owners. The kids were very much a part of the family, the business family. They both grew up in it again. There was actually an opportunity for Frank when he was in one of the hotels. He was working with an engineer, and the engineer started talking about the nightmare that he had with caring for these marble tables. And he asked Frank, "Do you know anything about marble tables?" And Frank said, "I don't know anything, but I'm willing to do some research for you." So he did. And in his willingness, found out that there was really nothing to stop what's called etching. And people think that etching is scratching, but it really isn't. Etching is a chemical reaction to acids with calcium-based stone. And so this etching was going on these beautiful marble tables in this 24-hour cafe. And Frank realized that he was right, that the engineer was right, that there was nothing out there. And so he did what he could. He took a product off the shelf. Remember, we're a window tinting company. So he took a graffiti film off the shelf, cut a piece off. We sourced some marble. He put some graffiti film on. We started doing testing. And in 2 years, we had developed TuffSkin.
Right. Now, Frank is your husband, so that we all know who Frank is. And I love this. I mean, he's already familiar with film, and he already has relationships with clients.
Yes.
And
the manufacturer.
And the manufacturer,
yeah,
right.
We had to have that relationship with the manufacturer for this to work. Because it was a long-term process. And because Frank was a distributor for a long time for film, for window film and decorator products. So yeah, he just worked with them to create a different adhesive because stone is different than glass. He worked to source a polyester that's breathable because natural stone has to outgas, windows don't. And we also had to create a specialty hard coat, which was harder, much harder than a graffiti film, and as hard or harder than marble. So and actually we have quite a few iterations of our product because we've gone through the process of, utilizing our product and getting feedback from our customers and trying to make the best tough skin possible.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I love about this story, and this theme comes up often, I think, with business owners and as leaders, as people who are motivated to be a business owner in the first place, I think we forget sometimes to listen to what people are asking us for. And what I love about this story is that Frank was listening and he was willing to try it. And
yeah, indeed.
yeah, I mean, if people are asking for something, then you should listen because that means that they'll buy it and potentially other people will buy it.
Well, it's an opportunity. And
Mm-hmm.
Frank and I ended up creating an industry
Mm-hmm.
that we didn't know what we were doing when we were doing it. So that I think is a little bit of the magic of what happened with all of that. I was actually looking at some of my paperwork around TuffSkin, and when we first did our articles of organization and our the first business paperwork, and it was in October of 2007, and our first big contract was 2 years later with the MGM and the Bellagio Spa Towers.
Right.
Yeah.
Landed those huge contracts. So you're first to market. How did you protect your business assets and your business ideas?
We had our employees and anybody that dealt with us and still do sign NDAs, and just, ask for their support and respect around our product and not to share the information that they learn from us. That doesn't always happen, but we do ask.
Yeah.
We trademarked our product, but we decided not to patent our product because in the patenting process, after 5 years, you have to share publicly everything that is your product. And we decided that we didn't want to do that, that we wanted to keep our formula private. And by doing that, we were not going to trademark, but patent, but we did do the
Right.
trademark.
Right. And that's just a huge process anyway. So you
It
went down
really
that.
is.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a long process if you're not really good at it. Like Lori Grenier, she's the master, she's the queen of, patents, but that we are not. So
Right.
that's not what we do. And honestly, we have so much to do that I think choosing where you place your energy in your business is a good thing to know. Like, where do I want to place my energy? And the patent just wasn't it for us.
Yeah. And, trademarks and patents are only protected in certain places in the world. And you're an international vendor. So you're working with clients all over the world, and it doesn't mean you're going to be protected everywhere either.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we created the industry, and there are people that have tried to copy, the product, and that's okay. It's TuffSkin is a brand, and we target marketed in the U.S. and beyond, and it's really cool to be part of something where you're the creator or inventor of.
Yeah. Yeah. And first to market. I mean, who
First to
gets to do
market.
that?
First to
Yeah.
market. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've had the pleasure of being able to sit in on events where you are working directly with your clients. And I think the other thing to point out about TuffSkin is it's not just about the product. And you have released multiple iterations of your product, but you are constantly working with your clients to improve the way you apply your product, to improve the entire installation and warranty experience. So it's not just the product for you.
It's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. And thank you for being there for us, Cree. It's been a pleasure over the years to have you be a part of our dealer meetings and this process that we go through with our dealer network is what it is for us. And yeah, it is about relationship. It is about education, and it is about investing our time and our money in the people and in the people and the support around us.
Yeah, I think sometimes we lose sight of that in the digital world we live in now. We want to just send emails or we want to just post on social media, but there's still that aspect of connection and relationship that is alive and well. And I think if you want to stand out, then you consider being more connected to your clients and
You
listening
hit the
more.
nail on the head.
Yeah.
The human connection is number one. And how you leave them feeling concept, the Jesse and Lisa Farrell idea of how you leave people feeling, that is definitely top of mind when we're working not only with our dealer network, but also with our customers.
Yes, definitely. They matter a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're a family-owned business.
We're a
We touched
family-owned
on that
business.
earlier.
Yeah.
You and your husband are involved and your kids are involved. I want to dive into this aspect a little bit
Sure.
and what that experience has been like for you and your family. When I think of family-owned businesses, I think, no way. There's no way I'm going to do that. Setting boundaries and, you started this business when your kids were really young and they've grown into it. And the roles that they have now are huge roles for the company and they're the future of the company. And if you can give us just an inside glimpse as to what that looks like, I think it'd be great.
Sure. Well, the kids would come into the office when they were young. They would see the activity. They would see their dad. They would see, me, what I was doing. Katie started filing early during the summer when she wasn't in school. We'd go to the office and she would work in the administration and the filing aspect. And Jake started when he was 15, and actually as an employee. And he swept floors, he cleaned toilets, he learned how to clean a window. He learned how to load and unload the van. He learned how to, have the list of the SOP, the standard operating procedure of what is supposed to be in the van and how things are supposed to be done. And when you arrive at a client's house, how you're supposed to look, how you're supposed to talk to the customer. And so, yeah, they were deeply immersed from the time they were very, very young. And now Katie is 32. She owns and runs TuffSkin of Southern California from Santa Barbara to San Diego. And Jake is 29, will be 30 in November. And he is stepping up. He stepped up in a big way and is helping to run TuffSkin West, or TuffSkin of Las Vegas, but also business development in the West.
Yeah. What were your expectations for your kids as far as the business went, since they were involved so early on? Did you think that they would be involved, and how did that really impact the way that you plan to grow your business?
We really didn't know. And we actually encouraged the kids to do their own thing. We wanted to see where their gifts and talents were and how they saw themselves, because I saw Katie as a business professional, like a lawyer or something like that, because she's just very intelligent. Her communication skills are so excellent. And, Jake, he loved sports so much. He thought he wanted to play sports, actually ended up becoming a personal trainer for a long period of time while he was going to college. Katie worked in retail while she was going to college. And she ended up in the School of Hospitality, specializing in weddings and events through UNLV. And Jake took business. He was in the School of Business, and he also ended up at UNLV.
Okay.
And after that, let's see, Katie went on to work for a couple of other companies and had moved to LA. And we remember, we were supplementing her income, which was fine. And she was unhappy ultimately. Um, One, because the company wasn't listening to her. They were supposed to, have regular reviews, and she was supposed to have regular pay increases, and those things were not happening. And Frank said, Katie, you're a Ferrari that's ready to open up on the freeway. Why don't you come work for TuffSkin? And she said, okay. And that's been 4 or 5 years ago now. 5 years
Yeah.
ago? 6 years ago? 5 years ago? I don't know, something like that. And she's grown the business exponentially. I think her first year, I think she made 80,000. The company overall made about $80,000. And I remember during pandemic in 2020, October of 2020, there was 1 month she did $80,000 in 1 month.
Right.
So, just really has grown her company so well. And with the guidance of her dad a lot, and me too, of course. But, that father-daughter relationship and the pillar that he is, she really absorbs the things that he says, and they have a super quality relationship. Again, we do too. She learns from me as well. It's just, it comes slower and on the back end.
Right. Right. Yeah. And just to put all this into perspective, so you were in Las Vegas to begin with,
Mhm.
and then she really helped open up the San Diego market. Like she started that market, correct?
LA. LA
LA.
is where she started.
Gotcha. And now she's
Santa
overseeing
Barbara to
Southern
San Diego.
California. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
she
then
moved to Brentwood, and that's where, but she handles all of general areas of LA. But then what she's done is she is also, not only does she have installers, and she has aligned herself with restoration specialists, just like we have here. And across the globe, we've aligned ourselves with master stone craftsmen, restoration specialists. She's done the same thing there. And she also has dealers in different areas. That means that they purchase product and handle areas for her, and we help generate leads for them.
right.
Yeah.
Your business really, it's not just a product. There's so many different aspects to what you do. Just want to shine some light on that as well. And pretty remarkable that both of your kids have really stepped into these roles. And I've seen them work firsthand, and you can see how passionate they are as well. It's really
Oh,
neat to
very
see.
much. We all have passion for the brand and
Yes.
passion for the work
Yes. And the
and
people.
passion for the family business.
Right.
We
Exactly.
know we're blessed. We know that it's unique. And, there was Katie. Now, Jake, he decided he wanted to come on as an installer. And so he did. And he's a master installer, master trainer. And now he's very much in the last year and a half into business development. And he's also, in 2022 is when my mom started taking kind of a downturn in her health. And that was the year that we also implemented the entrepreneurial operating system, which is a platform, a way to run your business, elevate your business, and run your business. And it was perfect timing. Everything came into fruition at just the right time. And I started turning big relationships over to Jake here in Las Vegas. And I've been doing it ever since. I did a lot of it, especially the first 6 months, because there was there was a lot to share. Now I'm still doing it, but it's, more incremental. As things come up, then I turn it over. But I listened to him this morning at work at the office, and he's just making phone calls, talking to big people. And it's like, good for you, man. I remember after a couple conversations, I'm like, woohoo, Jake.
Right.
No fear. No fear. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So how do you speak to your kids if something isn't going right?
So years ago, when we decided to bring the kids in, we engaged Lisa and Jesse Farrell. They are success coaches, and we utilized the color code. And by utilizing the color code, we found out about ourselves and how we communicate, and we found out about each other and how the others communicate. And these kind of things were always they were always inference, like you always kind of knew. But man, when you get a personality assessment in front of you and you're able to read, it like really nailed what was going on. And by doing that, you understand how you communicate better again, how the others communicate. And we also, the goal was to go from a parent-child relationship, which is, that never goes away.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to move into adult relationships. We wanted to go from being parent-children to being adults with one another. So if there's something that's going on that we need to have a discussion about, we have what we call basically IDS, which is identify, discuss, and solve. And that is actually within the EOS system. And EOS, again, only came to us in 2022, but we started doing that before that. So there were boundaries that were to be set. There were language that we wouldn't use. There was, ways that we needed to and wanted to come from a place of seeking first to understand, why are you doing it this way? And so help me understand, not just making assumptions, but help me understand why you're doing what you're doing. And then that way I can open my mind, learn something, and then perhaps make a suggestion as
Right.
to how maybe we could do it differently. Or not, because the younger generation has new ideas, new ways of doing things, and it's very valid. I love youth. I think it's amazing. These young kids, they're so full of energy and ideas, and we want to embrace that too. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's bring the old school, but I'm all about letting that new energy in.
How do you separate being a parent from being a boss?
Well, I am the boss as a parent and in the business.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
I mean, I'm the mom. So, I mean, it is what it is. If we all learn to accept, who we all are and what our roles are and not abuse them,
Mm-hmm.
then I think we can be successful in all areas.
So what you're saying is you're not really separating the two roles.
There are times when I do. When we're having discussions as a business, I am not a mom. I'm a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're outside of business, I'm a mom, and then I talk like a mom, respond like a mom.
Right.
Yeah.
But everybody understands where those boundaries are. And
I think so. I mean,
yeah.
maybe from time to time things get blurred, but, I think generally, yeah. I know that having that desire to go from the parent-child to the adult relationships was something that we all wanted and we all bought into. And we all wanted to look forward together and go in the same direction. And because of that, with that kind of intention, I think that we have been able to maybe let that parent-child thing go more and be just adults with one another.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Would you recommend other people do what you're doing, have a family-owned business?
I love it. And so do, all four of us, we love it. So, I mean, yeah, if you want to do the work, because it's about personal growth, it's about introspection. It can be challenging. It can be in your face sometimes. And you can't take things personally. You have to let stuff go. Mm-hmm. And the past is the past. What you want to do is be present now and make the best decisions that you possibly can now, whether it's around family or around business. And it is fully integrated. And I don't think I even really think about it anymore much. I mean, I'm thinking about it now as I'm talking to you, but it's, I'll tell you what, as you well know, Cree, being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. No. And having your family involved, again, everybody has to want to do it. And because you want to do it, you can make it happen. But if you don't want to do it and people are not on the same page, it's not going to work. And that's true whether it's family or hired employees.
Right. And that was going to be my next question is how do you manage your family relationships and dynamic with your employees? Are there any challenges that have come up for you all along the way?
Never. I think, what we do is we have very respectful conversations with our employees. We have regular employee reviews. When people come on, when they become an employee of TuffSkin, one of the things that we do is, in the interview process, we want to know about this person. We want to know about their goals and dreams. We want to know who they are and what's important to them. And that gives us a really good idea of how can we support you. Say I've got an employee and they come on and they're doing a specific task. One gal came on as Frank's personal assistant and grew into sales. I have, and then she ended up moving on to another sales position. And it's difficult to let them go. And at the same time, she had dreams and goals. And we wanted to respect that. And so we gave her a platform to be able to learn and become better at what she wanted to become better at. And then she took that and she moved to another position outside of our company. Some of our employees come and they want to, some employees come and they want to stay for a while. Like they really love the company culture. They love who we are. They get the passion for the brand. And, one of our employees said, one of the things I love most about TuffSkin is that I get to go to places that I may have never been able to go before. And opening doors is something that I love to see. I love to see doors open for our employees, for our tribe, for the people around us, for our dealer network, for, the support through the segue into NABO and doing the diversity work. I like seeing doors open for people and opportunity, because who are we without that? I think this is an ever expanding universe, and I think we're all a part of that. And we all, I think, intrinsically want to grow and expand. And if our company and the people within our organization can support that and help create that culture for the people that work and live around us, then this is a really good thing.
Yeah. So what I heard in this portion of our conversation is investing in your people, investing in yourself, investing in your business through bringing on tools that are going to help you, like EOS and the color code system, and reaching out when you need that help, when you may not have it internally. And I think the one thing that stands out the most to me right now is just the open communication.
Yes.
Amongst yourselves. And I've seen it with your clients too, is being open and honest, and being organized and prepared, and also, owning up to your mistakes along the way, and
Absolutely.
And being open to work with the people around you to make that situation, whether it's, upgrading some of a piece of the installation process to your team members, you're going to work with them along the way.
Right. Exactly. And, we all make mistakes along the way, and that's fine. As long as we get up, it's not about the fall, it's about the get up, right? It's about, how do I learn about what I just did, and how can I be better next time? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And also that impeccability with your word. That is actually one of our core values, is being impeccable with your word, and having that open communication and doing the best you can with communication. And sometimes when we speak to each other, the words don't always come out right. And then we'll say, you know what, maybe I could say that better. Let me try again.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody then has to be embarrassed about that. It's okay, because we're all growing.
Yeah.
And want to do better.
Yes. You're giving us some sweet, sweet nuggets, Lil.
Good.
Yes. So let's switch gears a little bit. And I'd like to learn how a business like TuffSkin gets business. You are bringing a product to market for the first time, and I can imagine what that's like. It's kind of, you have to educate. You have to kind of teach people, hey, this is what we do and this is what we can do. So when you're starting out and you're working with one person on an idea, and now it's time to move away from the tint business and really devote your time to TuffSkin, what was it like, and what is it like now to continue to get bigger size contracts?
Right. So I'm going to just step back a little bit back into Las Vegas window tinting, because with Las Vegas window tinting, one of the things that we did was we provided what's called a continuing education unit, or a CEU, for interior designers and architects here in town. And we started that. We started building relationships with interior designers and architects a long, long time ago. And so when TuffSkin came out, one of the things that we did immediately was started reaching out to those people that we had on our email list, or our Rolodex, you know, going back a little ways. And we would call these people and say, hey, we're offering an educational program. It's no CEU, but it's an educational program on our product. Would you be interested in joining us? And if they didn't join us, then we'd make personal visits. I made many personal visits to offices to meet with people. And sometimes we came as a team, a small team, 2 of us, and we did PKs, product knowledges, within the organization. So we could hit, 5 people, 10 people at the same time. And we still did these larger things, groups where we would provide lunch and we would provide an hour worth of product knowledge. And it was a tremendous success. So remember, we had already been here and we'd already been doing some of this with our window, with fenestration, teaching about glass. So here we had all of these interior art designer architects, and we just started then teaching about TuffSkin and what it was. We also, it's interesting because we had been doing business on the Strip with many of the hotel casinos. And when we set TuffSkin up, TuffSkin was set up as a majority woman-owned business. 60% me, 40% him. No 51-49, because we didn't want any confusion.
Right.
And actually MGM reached out to us, sent a letter to us and an email as well, saying, we notice that you are a majority woman-owned business. Have you thought about becoming WBENC certified? And that was something that I had not really, I had heard about it, but I hadn't really considered or thought about, how do you get business? So you get business by tapping into your resources, whatever that looks like. So if it's your friends, if it's tapping into the resources by showing up to networking events, it's making, seeking out new people, but sometimes it is just the people in your immediate network, people around you, and going to them and asking for support. Hey, I'm doing this now. I've gone out. I'm going out. I'm starting my own business, and I'm looking. This is the first place is to go, is to the people around you, to your tribe, and then from there, finding out who you are and what your product is, and understanding who you're marketing to. Because when you understand who you're marketing to, that changes the direction of your thoughts and your actions. So as an example, one of my friends, I met with her last week. It was great to see Leanne Doang Ma. She is promotional materials, and she's WBENC certified. And so Leanne has products that are available basically for everybody, for the general market. Me, on the other hand, that is not what I do. My product is very specific. It's a niche market. So understanding who you are, what your products are, and who you want to target market, those are good questions to ask yourself when you're becoming a business owner. Or even if you've been in business and you're, not moving the direction you want to go in, or not growing the way you want, it's good to reflect and take a look at and ask yourself these questions.
Right. Know who you're targeting. And more importantly, you have to go ask for it.
You have to ask for it. You have to know who you are. You have to know what your product is. You want to seek out people that you think, or organizations that you think will use your product, but you also want to know who those companies are. You want to seek out and find out first who they are, what matters to them, and learn as much as you can about those people, whether it's a small organization or a large organization, and see if you can serve them.
Mm-hmm. I'd also add figuring out what your advantage is, or how, lots of marketers will say, how are you different? But I
Right.
think it's more than that. It's what will get you the business that you're going after.
Exactly.
And in your case, an example of that is getting that certification, the
Yes.
women-owned business certification.
Yeah.
Understanding that your clients are hospitality clients, that you can apply your product to marble all over the world and to
Right.
surfaces all over the world,
Right.
and taking advantage of that as well, I think is key.
Yes. Absolutely, it is, and you make an excellent point. That
Yeah.
is totally right.
So Heather Cox was on last month,
I
and
saw.
when I told her you were on this month, I believe that you are a client of
I
Heather's.
am.
Yes, and so this is just a great example of figuring out ways to to differentiate yourself, to find advantage in business, and it's just something you have to go figure out and find.
Yes. Yeah. In this case, it actually came to me. Again, with MGM reaching out and saying, "Would you consider becoming a diverse
Right.
business?" And I didn't really know what that meant. Heather explained it beautifully last month, and I really appreciated her point of view and her expertise on that. So I actually was a solopreneur practicing my aesthetics um, for quite a few years, about 13 years full time. And I stepped away. I retired in 2012. I retired from that business and joined my team. But I took a year. I didn't take any pay, but I took a year to really learn my business inside and out so that there would never be a question of whether I was actually in charge of my business or not. And I really enjoyed that time where I became just more knowledgeable. I became more comfortable in that world. It moving from the beauty industry where I'm working with women and I'm the only person that's, as a solopreneur, the only person in that room in charge. That's very different than working in a construction industry, in the construction industry, with people that are not women, men. And their communication styles, very, very different. But I did take that year and I learned, and then I applied to become WBENC certified.
Mm.
And that is basically a platform, an opportunity for me to better myself because they had educational opportunities. I did the Platinum Supplier Program in 2017, where I became contract ready. I created a capability statement, and I learned how to do more one-on-one kind of elevator pitches and quick pitches so that people could, that I met quickly in a networking situation could learn or listen to information about what my product was or is.
Right.
And that was fantastic. But it also is putting me in front of organizations or companies that might want to use my product. And it's a very unique platform and one that I'm very proud to be a part of.
Yeah. So as a solopreneur, and now larger size company, more people involved, you are involved with running the business.
Yeah.
And are there components of a solopreneur versus a larger size business that are different, that really stand out in your mind? And I'm going to say this. One is the knowledge is different because you've already pointed that out. And two, that we've already talked about, are the people. So as a solopreneur, you're on your own, you're working on your own. And then, working in a larger size business with employees, that's a whole nother aspect. But as far as like running a business, is there a difference between those two types of businesses in your mind?
For me, there wasn't, because customer service is customer service. right? Understanding your product and being able to share that information and helping the customer feel comfortable in purchasing your product, same, right? And even though I went from me and my single spreadsheets every month to weekly spreadsheets, monthly spreadsheets, and I considered a large nut every week and every month, which is payroll. The decimal point changes, but the rest of it to me was very much the same. I was able to take the skills that I developed as a solopreneur and just bring it right over. Those were my innate natural gifts and talents that I was able to switch right over to this other company, and I didn't miss a beat there. Where I did miss the beat was communicating. I had to learn, to deal with men in the construction world. And that was very challenging for me. And I felt like there was a period of time where I really felt like I was drowning. Even though I knew that I could do it, I needed the confidence to execute effectively. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, joining NABO gave me that, because NABO, again, provided education where I participated and I was around these successful business women that had faced some of the things that I had faced. And I got the support that I needed. And I got the education that I needed. And that helped me develop the confidence that I needed to be able to be in this different industry and not feel overwhelmed or like my voice wasn't important.
Yeah, you're not in this alone. If you're a business owner out there listening, if you're a solopreneur out there, if you are looking for support and help, there's definitely support out there. Just like getting sales, you kind of have to go look for it.
Yeah. And there are wonderful organizations here in town. The Chamber, the Henderson Chamber is excellent. The Las Vegas Chamber is very good. There's other there's eWomen Network now. There's all kinds of marvelous organizations. And really, I think we're very much I think these organizations have shifted a little bit. And it's not just about them growing their own membership. Yes, it's that. But I think that there's more interaction and exchange between the groups and supporting one another. This is what we really need, because I don't know about you, but I've gone to all kinds of different networking groups, and you very often see, the same faces in these different groups. So we're all looking to have the opportunity to be able to share who we are and what our services are. But also, I think many women's hearts are into service, and how can I support you too?
Yeah, and I'm going to second that, because when I started my first business, I was a first-time business owner. We met through NABA, which is the National Association of Women Business Owners. And I really didn't know what to expect. And living in Las Vegas, I think there is a stigma here that people kind of, they drive into their garage and they shut the door, and people aren't like overly friendly here. But in the business world here, sure, there's competition, but I think overall everybody just wants to see one another succeed, especially in the women's networking groups that I've been a part of.
Yes, I see the same thing you do.
Yeah, and it's spectacular.
It is. People ask me all the time, "What do you like Vegas? What do you like about Vegas?" And I'm like, "This is the best business climate." I think that living here and working here, I think opportunities abound, and I think that there are no limits to what you can achieve in Las Vegas.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's the first word that comes to my mind when I think about being a business owner in Las Vegas is opportunity.
Opportunity.
It's there. You have to go get it. This is a recurring theme in this conversation. You do have to go get it, but there's help along the way. If you go to the TuffSkin website, if you go to the bottom of your website, you have a bunch of logos down there.
Yeah.
These are the associations that you were a part of. This is how you've grown your business.
Yes.
You've become certified. You put the work in, you go talk to people, you form and maintain relationships,
Yes.
and you're out there. It sounds exhausting, and it can be, but there's a reward.
The reward is relationships.
Right. Yeah.
And the ability to be able to, again, going back to being in service, the ability to be able to serve and be able to not just yes, it's about my product. Yes, it's about my business growth. This is not a hobby. This is a business. Yes. And how can I help you achieve what you are looking to achieve? Who can I introduce you to that might be able to elevate your business? Who can I connect you with that might have a contract for you or know somebody who might have a contract for you? That is the juice, because business brings good things to us, but there's nothing like knowing that you have a purpose and that you're helping to make a difference.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Before we go on, I do want to point one other thing out that you mentioned that really stood out in my mind, and that is that for you, being a solopreneur and having a small business, and it's funny because when I first started this podcast, I looked up the definition of
Small business.
a small business, and it's ridiculous because it goes up to millions of dollars.
$25 million, I think.
Yes, and
question. Yeah.
yeah, and here I am, just making I just have my little slice of pie over here, and I'm fine with it. But in your mind, being a solopreneur, definitely not making millions,
So
it was the same to you. And so, my message to anybody listening is don't be afraid to grow. You can do it.
you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. If you know in your heart that you have a gift to give and something that talents and skills that you can bring to market, it doesn't matter if you're a solopreneur, if it's just you, and or if you want to build a bigger business. Our business is reasonably small. We have like 9 or 10 employees, not big. And we've actually, for us, we have this whole global dealer network. So they're not employees, but they're customers. Mm-hmm. So, there are so many ways to do business. And when you get into it, you can start as a solopreneur and get, put your toes in the water and start to figure it out. But it's always good to ask yourself along the way, check in with yourself once a year or so. Hey, am I doing better this year than I was last year? If not, why not? What can I do? What can I look at? What do I need? And I highly recommend that you delegate what you don't love. My motto is do only what I can do. Can I go see that executive and offer that quote? Absolutely, I can do that. Can I clean the toilets and sweep the floors? Absolutely, I can do that. Can I, whatever it is, I can do that. But what do I choose to do, and what can only I do? And hire out the rest. I highly recommend getting a bookkeeper, find a CPA, find somebody to do your video podcasts for you and help you market yourself, right? Hire people that are great at what they do, and know that sometimes you have to really just trust that hiring somebody else to assist you and support you and help you in the growth of your business is absolutely the way to go, because you will do better if it's nothing more than just emotionally. That at the end of the day, you're going to bed and you can actually sleep, compared to staying up all night because you've got all these things swirling around in your head of how, what I should be doing this and I should be doing that. Experience tells me that it's just definitely better to hire quality individuals that will help you grow your business.
Right. And one of the questions on the podcast is, what is your advice for new business owners? I think you covered that so well. I'd like to take it a step further. When do you know that it's time to hire, and how do you, it's scary. That is so scary to, it's kind of that fine line where you barely have enough money to start paying yourself and you're thinking about paying someone else. And it seems like a small step, but it's really a big leap.
It
And
is a
what's
big
your
leap.
advice?
Yeah.
Advice there?
I say hire early.
Mm-hmm.
Hire early. Maybe try to duplicate yourself if you're doing sales, then attempt to find somebody that can do some sales with you and offer it, maybe give them a weekly salary and then offer a commission based on their sales so that you're not putting out a whole bunch of money all at once or every week. You can handle your business, so bring somebody else on. And then when you're doing that, then hire again, because then you're going to need that bookkeeper to help you keep things straight. And then it is a step-by-step process, and it is something where, again, I go back to, personal growth and business, like they're really interrelated, and being able to stay in touch with yourself and listen to what's going on, listen to your intuition, listen to your thoughts, write them down, journal, like keep track of what's going on for you in your business. This is one of the values of EOS. The entrepreneurial operating system is that you're writing down your goals and you're writing down the things that are going on every week, and you're identifying situations and you're talking about it, and then you're solving these issues, and then you're moving forward, and that propels you forward. So I think to hire early is better than to wait until you're busting at the seams and you've got all this business and, oh my God, now what am I going to do? I hardly have time to take care of my customers. How am I going to hire somebody?
Right. Or how am I going to have time to focus on growing my business?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, the way to grow your business is to hire.
Yeah.
And whether that's marketing, again, hiring that marketing person to help you grow your business.
Right. And it doesn't have to be a full-time employee.
Exactly. Good point.
So it can be an hourly person.
Yes.
You just, especially a bookkeeper. So that was my first hire. And I'll tell you what, I'm so grateful I did that early on. And, I just pay them hourly,
right,
or monthly, or whatever it's going to, whatever will fulfill the needs of the business. So you don't have to hire full-time, bring on full-on employees. You can subcontract out to get the help you need.
Katie also had a suggestion, because I told her that I was doing this, our daughter, and I was sharing some of the information. She goes, Mom, she said, make sure you mention about taxes. Get your taxes situated right away. Like, figure out how you're going to do it. Are you going to be an owner draw? Are you going to be an employee? Like, make sure that you put your money away, or, she was like, but make sure that you get with your tax person so that you understand what your taxes are going to be, because she has mastered that. And it's something she feels really good about.
Yes. Taxes are a huge change. If you've ever worked for other people and then you move into business ownership, it's completely different. That's great advice. So bookkeeper, but speak to a tax person, because that bill can be big. And if you're not expecting it.
Yeah. Interestingly, we had a situation come up where somehow Frank and my, on our QuickBooks, for our federal taxes, it was changed. We don't know what happened or how that happened. I didn't do it. My bookkeeper didn't do it. My CPA didn't do it. But we ended up with a larger tax bill this year, and thank God for the ability to be able to access. I have savings, so that's a beautiful thing. And that took care of it. But at the same time, if you're not prepared, that is an excellent point. If you are not prepared, oh man, that's a tangled web with the IRS. You don't want to go there.
Definitely. Yeah. So talk to a CPA, talk to somebody right away. Bookkeeper, CPA.
Yep.
My advice is those the first two people you speak to.
Yeah,
definitely. All right, so the future of TuffSkin is bright. And For you, I know you and I have had conversations about what the next phase of your life is going to look like. You have a family-owned business, but TuffSkin, for all intents and purposes, isn't going anywhere. What does the future of TuffSkin look like?
The future of TuffSkin is, we are global. We're still growing, obviously, and we are going to continue to grow. And the kids are stepping in, and there is a succession plan. Frank and I do plan in the next 3 years to be working only a couple of days a week. And I can still, with my WBENC, woman owned certification, and operating my business with EOS, I have the power to be able to step away like that and be able to work 1 or 2 days a week and have my weekly scorecard where I see all of my data and see everything that's going on with the company. I don't have to sit in the seat every day, hours and hours a day anymore. I have the ability to be able to step back and be able to either take a vacation, go away, or be able to enjoy grandchildren, hint, hint, or, be able to just enjoy life here in Las Vegas without having to work as many hours as we have been. I don't know about you. When did you start working? How old were you?
Oh, I was 15,
Yeah.
16. I started working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I already have a retirement date set up. And it feels good to have that plan.
Tell me about that.
What's that?
Tell me about that. I want to know about your retirement date.
Oh, my retirement date. So Carly works for the city of Las Vegas, and there are certain retirement ages that you can select. And by selecting that age, then how much retirement you'll be able to draw from. So she just got a big promotion. And before she was promoted, she bought some years. And she has a certain date in mind for herself that she'll feel comfortable retiring at that age. And then also get to, take advantage of those benefits that she has available to her.
Nice.
And then for me, the investments that I've made, we're just able to plan ahead and save up so that we can continue to have the lifestyle that we want to have in retirement. And so here we are. We have a date, and that's what we're.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. I still don't have a retirement date, but I've this conversation about retirement is really an interesting one, because I think retirement is really a myth, because you may stop working at this one thing that you're doing, but maybe you're going to still be working doing something else. Do you see yourself doing anything else in the future?
Right now, I'm loving what I'm doing. But so here's the thing about business ownership that I love. And you've brought this up numerous times during this conversation also. You get to sculpt your life however you would like to. And what your business
by design.
Yes. And it may not happen when you are a brand new business owner, because you're just trying to survive pretty much. And then, as you grow your business, challenges come up and you learn how to work through those. But you do get to a point where it's like, you know what? I don't have to work 7 days a week.
Right.
I can hire people, or I can start to give my work away, or I can put a plan together so that, I can retire or just work whatever hours I want. And you can build that. You can work towards that. And that's probably my favorite thing about business ownership.
Yes. It's awesome.
You still have to worry. You still have to work hard. And you still have to go get the business. Yeah. But there does come a time when you get to design whatever that working environment looks like for you. I really enjoy that. You're
designing while you're in it, which is really the key, because you want to. I heard something a long time ago, and it's where you look at the end first, and then you work backwards. So what does the end work look like for you? And maybe the age or whatever, or the where you're at, whatever success means to you. And being able then to look backwards and go, okay, how am I going to get there? And really, it's sculpting. I love that word that you used, because that's what it is. It's sculpting your future.
Yes, definitely.
I love this.
So much good information today, Lil. Thank you so much for being on the show. I just appreciate you. I love what you're doing. I love the business that you and Frank have built for you, your family, and all your employees. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been an honor to be here with you today, Cree. I love and appreciate you.